All right, so I hope my screen is visible and I'm also audible. Like I said, what we saw today in the market was what we saw was this. If you look at the indices, you can see a sea of red except the micro caps. And how many, like this micro cap would be 250. So other than the like then the so this was the only green and the rest of all was heavily red. Especially nifty candle was really fearful. So but the overall strength in the market, from whatever number you'd look, percentile stocks above key moving averages, everything went better. So 40 to 49, 53 to 64, 29 se 32, average M swing also increased, M swing score increased, Landry increased, net 4% is at 100 and sorry, not 100, 17.6. Above 10 is generally, which I think is really good. 4 point R number is so. Generally, more than 1,000 is good here, right? And if you see this number, particularly Z Paul percentage, which is basically what is the average move a stock did in the universe, it's pretty high, like 1.6% on an average a stock move today, which is like fairly bullish. And both overnight it was a positive move, and intraday also it was a positive move. So that basically then leads you to spring into action कि चलो देखते क्या setup हुआ. And then the next step is to go through the relative strength list, which is how I do is scan for M swing high to low and look at around 200 names, which is here. And from there what I do is like the ones which I mean all of these are fairly strong. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि of course NACL is like the strongest, but just because something is at the top half doesn't mean they are set up well. So for example, something like Galant Ispat is not set up. This is rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is rank number 10, which is like 0.01% 99 percentile है ना. So but this there is no setup here. So just because something is at the top doesn't mean that it is always actionable. Although NACL was actionable today, it was actionable on this day as well. uh, so now what we are looking for is we are looking for setups which are strong and then is right now actionable, and that's where the whole philosophy of swing trading lies in, wherein you have to look at strong names, but not just strong names at the strongest stock. So this is sort of the red list today, fairly long list. Okay, so let's go through one by one, and and then I will also then explain like what is it that we are looking for. Like what we are looking for is relative strength in one word. So this is basically there are few more stuff in here, but just ignore this background. This is basically my swing M swing plot, which many of you guys have been using now. Whenever it is green, it means it's absolutely strong in the market. It's also positive momentum, plus it's beating the underlying index, in this case the Nifty Mid Small 400. What I was also trying to tell today is that relative strength in a bear market condition doesn't just mean things which are here. Okay, it also means things which are set up really like how the market is set up, which is probably still making lower highs and lower lows. But if they have an outperformance, that is something one can already anticipate that is prime for an action here. Now it will not occur this in everywhere, but this is something which I really want to put the thought across ki you can still hunt for names that are relatively strong. So Kolte Patil is a name, and this also has some sort of trigger. So just if something has a trigger, it's slightly better. So most of the trigger right now in the market, a lot of the trigger, I'm sorry, not most, but a lot of the triggers in the market which are strong right now is episodic pivots related to acquisition. So NACL today, the example, the one which broke out, is an example of acquisition related episodic pivot. Similarly, Kolte Patel is also an acquisition related a name. So if you look at NACL and Kotle Patil, you can see like a lot of similarities. There's a prior uptrend. This was a triple A plus setup. Like forget the market condition. This is a triple A plus setup, and I've been like peppering my group with this name since a couple of days in the last week or so. I just want to check if people are audible. If I'm audible to everyone, and things are okay. I'm okay. Great. Thanks. Thanks, Durga Prasad. Right. So this was a plus setup. The only problem here is liquidity now. Uh, for not all of us, it will be liquidity problem, but there are certain people who have accounts, large figure accounts. They will definitely, it will be illiquid for them, because like in a minute it only trades a lakh or 2 3 lakhs at max, right? 3 lakhs at max it was trading during the morning. So if you're one click, अगर आपका एक क्लिक में 3 4 लाख का माल जाता है, तो इट विल डेफिनेटली बी लिक्विड. यू विल बी द पर्सन हु इज़ मूविंग द प्राइस, राइट? बट bearing that, it was a plus setup. Now if you look at Kotle Patil or Kolte Patil, it is slightly similar. Now there is a slight bend here which I don't like, but in general, this is a pause. There is not much selling. It's just like waiting for, I don't know what, perhaps come to a fair value, and right now it's at fair value. People who bought here also like they gave a price which is on an average here. So this is a really nice setup, very similar to NACL India. Manapuram also is another one. This is also an acquisition related relative strength. Bain Capital is trying to buy this company, right? So you can see there are these are the things you have to pick up, and these are the names which you will probably fire again. Now Quad Future is a name because this is a really interesting company. Okay, now don't directly go and look at market cap and think that this is illiquid. The market cap 550 crore, but if you look at the average rupee volume it trades every day, insane. At 291 it trades on an average, right? So this is pretty a liquid name, and also now setting up, so above all KMA. So what I want to show you guys today is that contrary to the popular picture thrown out by our key indices, which is Nifty, mid cap, mid small, we have setups. Okay, that's the take home message. And also if you can learn what are the kind of setups which I look at, and this is what I look at. You have to have a prior uptrend. There was an outperformance even before momentum went to positive. Then we had a this is we had a trident, and then it's now pulling back day 1 2 3 4 5, currently sitting at 1. So if tomorrow there is a strong start and price goes above this is a really this is a nice this one. Now if you also see strength will come in groups. Okay, so if you look at other names from the same group, oil refinery, whatever, you will also see a lot of other names from the same group setting up. Like for example, Hindustan Petroleum is a name which is setting up. You can see again very similar pattern. There is a brewing relative strength before zero, and now 4 or 5 days it has been like going sideways, coming from the same MRPL group. There are others as well. BPCL is also again very similar. You can also see a lot of pocket pivot volumes here, these blue ones, and lot others. Okay, so this definitely is a really strong group. Now the kind of setups is slightly different. So MRPL would be a PBC setup, which is basically pull back and confirmation. Confirmation means that there is a candle which is now says that okay, my pull back is over, now I'm gonna bounce and start the rally again. Xpro India doesn't look really well, but this is from a risk reward point of view a great setup, because you can see that ATR is also so 4.45 is a good one, and then it's really tight. Okay, so if you can get it in somewhere here, then like a 5% stop loss is not bad for a name which can move 20% in a couple of days. and the relative strength is also now back. We are in green, which means that X-Pro's relative strength in the last 50 days is higher than the relative strength of the general index mid-small. HBL engineering is again another episodic pivot. Today was a breakout day when I traded this intraday, but did not because it gave up a lot of gains. But it will set up now, and it will set up and it will go away. Now, if someone is not keen on like exactly timing the move, then even if it doesn't, you don't have to get it in PBC. You can get it in PBA. So three tight candles, you can get in. You can wait for 2-3 days, and then the probability of this guy doing well is good. Now Avantel is just here because it's also from defense, and also telecom has been doing slightly better recently, and that's why it's on the watch list. Nothing much here. Now Sudarshan Chemical, this was the day when the PBA hit, PBC. So prior uptrend, relative strength brewing, relatively strong, three tight candles. This would be an entry day. Then it pulled back, and then this was a day to enter again. Two tight inside bars, a really good name. Kraft Isman Automation has been setting up since some time now. Volume has been dried up, pulled back to the 1021. It's above 21. There is a shakeout effect here today, and sometimes what happens is we tend to discard the names which closed red, but that's I think not a really good thing to do. Generally, the momentum burst moves comes from a negative candle or a smaller candle. Bond day 1.2 1.1. ISM Isuzu, now this today it bounced of the 10. This is a really strong name. I think there is also some sort of catalyst here. Yeah, maybe this is sale whale related. There is so Ashok Leyland rises on report in the stock too. So this, you see, acquisition related EPs are now a flavor of the market, I think, in my opinion. So now the best case scenario would be two tight candles, and this will be another setup which would be very similar to NACL Colte India kind of a setup. Supriya, if again, like I said yesterday, what I was saying in the group is that there are setup for all kinds of players in the market. I see a lot of posts saying, oh, mera setup nahi hai, mera setup nahi hai. I mean, if this is not your setup, then what is? Trading at 52-week highs, big base above all key averages, getting tight at the right side of the base. Like, if this is not your setup, then I don't know what is it that you trade. Relative strength, everything is there, right? So now you just have to make sure that if and when this guy breaks out, uh, you have a system to get in, and that is straightforward. uh, yeah, Balu Forge is also I mean, this would be a reversal setup. This is not exactly at the 52-week highs, but I can see something like this happening. Probably the price will come back, or it will wait for the key MAs to catch up. So this is not like a fully cooked setup yet, but again, things like this may also break out given the the general market behaves bullishly. GRSE is a really good reversal setup. The only thing I like is in general is also setups like this sometimes tend to have some kind of symmetry, and if that is the case, then something like this would be even better, because then you will have a symmetrical inverse head and shoulder, and then the entry would be then a textbook kind of an entry. But like I said, they don't always behave like textbook. Currently it's at 1020 at the 10, and then there could be like a big candle there. uh, and the thing is, out of all these, whatever I will be discussing today, some of them will fire ahead of the others, some of them will not fire, some of them will break down. It's a matter of probabilities. You cannot, I mean, maybe I will be able to, but at this point of time, I just don't know which one of it will fire. So, the most of the time, my thing is like, first come, first serve basis. Unless and until, sometimes there will be only a few setups on my plate, and then I will be like watching them. I'll sort of make up my mind. Like, for example, NSCL India, I was sold. I was sold when this tight candles were appearing. So If it is not something like that, then it's a matter of chance, probability, um, right? So HEG also possibly something related to um, uh, I don't know what is this related to. Hold on. Lead was doing well. Oh no, no, no. So I don't know what is this, but both HEG and graphite has been doing well. Blah, 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 approve something something. Uh, some commodity related thing, okay. And so one of them is setting up as a momentum burst tightness candidate. You can see three really tight candles after this two bullish day. So I sometimes don't like setups which are away from the key moving averages, but if a stock is really strong, then just because it's above key moving average doesn't mean that you discard this. As long as there is a tight area, you can manage risk, and as long as you get a peak entry, because a peak entry will solve 99% of all of your trading problems. So these are available setup. Balma lorry is something which I really like. Now there could be one thing which is during this consolidation there is a slightly higher volume, but chalta hai sometimes. That is fine. Like if I mean, this consolidation is definitely far better than this consolidation. So I mean, because there are a lot of other setups available, maybe you can leave that. PCBL, it's possibly it's not out of the woods yet, but see, once a stock is above key MAs and the key MAs are rising up, that gives you a slightly positive probability, okay. I have discussed this before. I think crude prices are also responsible for oil names doing well, setting up nicely. Lloyd's metals are also doing well, setting up nicely. One of the indices or sectors where there is strength in this market. So this is also good. It's a very low float name. ATR is so like 4.2 ATR is a decent. I mean, it's not 6, but it's 4. It's still better than 3, 2.5. Hoodco. Now Hoodco is also trying to. I mean, this we are still on a downtrend, and yes, of course, Hoodco can break down from the 21. But the candle today, the candle these are like good candles. These are accumulation candles here. Uh, NLC India is also there is like 3-4 days of tightness here above 1021. All I'm saying is that if tomorrow turns out to be bullish days, these names will fire, and along with some other names as well. But the difference between some other names and these names, in case they will fire, is the presence of tight areas where you can manage risk, where you can like बिंदास पुट अ स्टॉप लॉस, से दैट ओके इधर तक आएगा तो ले ले, है ना. This is the kind of risk I am willing to take. Again, this one could be uh, there could be liquidity issue, but there are a lot of cement names also doing well, and there's a small cement name. Anything above this, closing above this area is a good entry. Avanti Feed, a really strong name. This was the base, sort of not a great looking cup and handle, but still is a really strong name, right? Swaraj Engine, I thought this was a breakout today, but again, this also sometimes smaller base tend to also not break out, but not all fake outs are bad. Again, it just means that after 2 or 3 days it will again set up and go. KSCL, very orderly pullback, very strong accumulation here. So this is a classic PBC setup. I mean, I'll just bump it up a little bit. Any price move above the previous candle is an entry in these kind of setups, okay. Someone has a question. uh, Globe bus, whose bus? Globe's bus, right? Uh, yeah, right now again, basing near this previous high, and there is some there is some resistance here. Every day it is chipping away some, and I like today's volume candle because this is like a this is a pocket pivot. This is a pocket pivot, and this, I mean, like, it's a very actionable setup, right? Like, above this line bullish, below this line not bullish, something like what we have in Nifty here. If you look at Nifty, this was the line. I mean, below this bearish, above this bullish. So these, I mean, recognizing these kind of levels, area setup makes your decision making faster, and that's what the Nitin's article was also talking about. It's basically the whole process of simplifying trading is to make it a decision, a level one kind of decisions, and not level 2 where you have to like think a lot. Whole time now, I don't like it too much, in the sense there are better setups than this, but these things can work. Gibril, a good one, at around previous highs. Now the best time to get Gibril was here, and if someone is already added here, then maybe you can add more here, but as a fresh, I would not right now take that. Mazdog is a really good case study for us to track this, because these anecdotal observations of stocks, how they move, like what does the stock, which is like sort of a lone wolf at the 52-week highs, where everyone is interested, how does it behave? And like, if you look at if you study these names over and over again, then you it's going to be better in the future. Now this is fuzzy, not so tight. That's the thing here. Sundaram Finance, again, you can, again, this is the actionable setup. Maybe you'll find some better. Epigral, again, this is what I was saying. Now, isn't this sort of a big base breakout? Okay, maybe this is not at 52-week highs, but what do we have here? We had lower highs, lower lows, had a breakdown of this level, found a low, went up, still a lower high, found a similar low. So now this is going to be a reversal which is also a double bottom kind of a reversal base, and this is the handle of the double bottom. Now people will say, अरे double bottom का handle होता है क्या? हाँ, होता है. So if this level breaks out, then you could expect a move till the ATH, है ना? So again, like, you don't have to trade just one kind of setup. If you are someone, like, just imagine if this kind of sort of market environment persists for 2 or 3 years. What are you going to do as a trader who trades full time? I mean, just ask yourself that question, right? So that's also another point. Now Danish is not very strong, but it's a good looking reversal base. Okay. Now what are the good things to look at here? We now have higher lows. We now have equal highs, and any breakout of this would be a breakout above all key moving averages, and this would be a really low risk area even from a positional trading point of view. Okay, so this is another kind of setup which you would trade in a during a bull market, right? Big base around previous highs, 52-week highs, in fact around all-time highs, and then now getting tightening at the right side of the base. So there are setups like this as well. You have to look at them. Amy Organics was an entry on this day. Now, although it faded at the end of the day, but the entry had triggered because price broke out of the previous high, and sometimes you just have to give them some time to work, and I'm pretty sure that Amy Organics will work. Yeah. Big base, similar low, higher low, above all key moving averages getting tight. Yeah, so reversal base, Hindustan Zinc reversal base. This is this is the pivot. Above this is it's crossed the line of least resistance. Sagility was at some point a really strong name, and right now it's been basing right below the 50 DMA. Okay, and it's now threatening to move past zero and possibly go into relative strength territory. Now I think Jindril will also move very soon. Now I know that this is a name which is going to test a lot, which has tested a lot of patience, but overall, looking at the base, this will definitely, in my opinion, can do well. Now, yeah, given and I I I completely agree what you are looking at here. This base is the thing is it needs time, and it probably will take time, but don't discard it off is what I'm saying. And if you want to build someone if someone wants to build sort of positional positions here, then bouncing off the 50 has always worked here. Undercut and 50, undercut and 50. So there is a clear sort of a support line evolving here, so you can use that. APPL, yeah, Shakti Pumbas. Now this is another name which was a really good name. I actually bought here in round trip all my gains. I think I sold either on this day or this day somewhere when it convincingly clipped back the 50. So I had like I think 69 or 59%, and then I could keep only 13 14% or so, but it's again setting up right now. So yeah, it was not setting up here. You know why? Because we did not have relative strength after this area when things when the price sustained above the 1021 for 2 3 days straight, was tightening up. This was the time then you reconsidering buying the stock back. This could be a day where you could have bought even if someone did not buy there. Now it's again getting sort of, it's not very tight, but there is an actionable pivot there. Sangavi, Ninna Sangavu is also looks like it's setting up as a reversal base. Then the problem is that sometimes after such a big downtrend, what I generally prefer is the base size to be slightly bigger. Then I know that there is a pakka distribution after, like, looking at the but from whatever price volume action right now is available here, looks like there is some, sorry, not distribution, looks like some kind of accumulation is happening. um, PGEL, don't like the action here. Don't I generally also don't like this kind of action inside the base, especially in a deep base. Why? Because once it hits the O'Neill pivot, it could again go and make a bigger base. So all of those reservations are there, but a stock to keep in your watch list. um, yeah. uh, Looks like some kind of this big candles, but the stock did not move negatively. Big candles generally turns out to be क्या बोलते हैं उसको, block deals of some sort. So for example, today Galaxy Surfactants was a big block deal. You can see that there's a huge candle, but stock did not move much because it was a block deal. All the deal happened at a predetermined price and stuff like that. So those things can happen, but in general, there is signs of accumulation here as well. Ram Ratna wires is a very nice accumulation now, uh, and yeah, when it breaks above this, that is an actionable setup. Um, don't like the name here. I don't know, some problem. Some Indian Hume again comes from very similar to the names like Ramrat and all, like HVQs, high volume, price moving up, price right now above all key MAs. There's a prior uptrend, there is a pullback, two very tight candles around here. So if you want a pivot, that would be this day. So anything above this pivot is an actionable buy point there. uh, 63 moons again, forming a really nice big base. Now these are buy points, not at the top half, not at the bottom half, but middle third, and this is what Minervini calls a Minervini cheat pivot. Currently the 10-day has moved up, and I would encourage you guys, at least some of you guys who are looking for outperformance, to think about uh, the possibility of, or to think about and not get scared by this 5% candles, the LSM, whatever SM, the circuit stocks, because if you do a deep dive and see all the names which have done well in the past couple of years, all of the big movers, things which moved 5x, 6x, 10x, almost 50% of them has been put into a 5% category at some point of their lifetime. So this actually means higher strength, in my opinion. Okay, my laptop has started to give up, but hopefully we will finish this. Piramal, again, like I said, everything right now which I'm showing you, 95% or more of the stocks are in line with what the general market is doing. So what the general market is doing is basically trying to now reverse from a from a 3 to 4 month kind of a drawdown, bear market, right? And so a lot of the stocks you will find will be set up like this. So this is the point I have been trying to make. So because the market is like this, you cannot expect things to be here. Okay, I mean, yes, we would all like to trade something like this, but a lot of actionable, in fact a large number of actionable setups would be set up like this. And the other one of that example is Pyramal Pharma Limited. um, it's definitely a strong stock, relatively stronger than the market. Green is on an uptrend. I mean, it's on an uptrend, and now this is just a counter trend move, and then possibly now ready to uh, go on a momentum burst again. Torrent Power. Now, if you look at some of the names which have very clean moves, it moves cleanly on the upside and then also bases very cleanly. So, if you are going for 3 to 5 days kind of a momentum burst swing setup, and it's really good to go for these names. Maybe some of them will not have that high kind of an ATR which you are looking for, but the kind of uh, uh, you know a regular kind of a move, it sort of makes it up for it. Now, Kiri Industries, I just wanted to put it here for more observation. I would not trade it right now. The best thing for Kiri to do here would be to, give me like a undercut of the 50, and that would be a definitively higher low of the base, and that would make it a more actionable big base breakout in the आने वाले दिनों में. BPCL, again, very similar setups like BPCL are present, like Hind Petro, and the other guy was, what was that? MRPL. So this is niche down the list. Again, like, yeah, really actionable setups, है ना? This is a nice little base, like. Last one I have in the list is GPIL. Now, GPIL is a reversal based breakout. Has not happened yet, but whenever this line is like taken out to the upside, that would be a very nice breakout, and this would also be sort of the start, possibly the start of the left side of the base. Well, that would be saying too much, but if you look at relative strength, it has already started to outperform the general market since somewhere here. And yeah, it's also a fairly high ATR, 4.36. Also has the capability to move 20%. So maybe I'll bump this up somewhere here. Okay, I'll stop here and take some questions if you guys have. If not, then we'll say goodbye. Fortis. Avanti feed is PBC or has made a top and now in a downtrend. I mean, yeah. So, like, at what point do you say that it is now on a downtrend? That's the question you have to ask. And the answer, you already know that, like above 1021 is still a name to uh, that you can possibly think that it will do well. So what is this? It's barely below 10. Okay, it's barely below 10. um, so and on all of those days, the volume on the pullback has been lower and lower and lower. I mean, yeah. So I like 20. Some people even like EMA 30. So which would be somewhere here. So even till then, it is going to be fine. Like hell, even till 50, it's going to be fine. Like that's a even low risk setup in an environment like this. So don't discard these names. These are really strong names. Please check Unicommerce. Uni-ecom. Uni-commerce. So yeah, Unicommerce is also it's on a downtrend right now, and yeah, this would be, let's say, the first sort of viable viable pivot low, which is a higher pivot which is a higher low. Started to outperform the market now, and yeah, this is a valid setup. Please check chart of Fortis. Somehow don't like these hospital stocks, man. Yeah. So what how do you read this? This is fairly this is a fairly straightforward read, right? There is a huge prior uptrend, and then this is the base. This would be your O'Neill's cup. That would be around 17, 18, 20% long. Yes, and a peak O'Neill cup is anywhere from 20 to 40% long, right? So this is really good. I would say this is still 25% of the prior uptrend. So the prior uptrend was around 94%, and this is one fourth of that, which is 25%. That's really good. This is not for your general swing trading. This, I would say, would be I mean, swing trading is also fine, but if something like this sets up, I would I would really say that would be a better stock for a positional kind of a trade. Now, what I would say, that there would be a handle formation here, and and if a handle forms, that would make the setup more better. And again, this also has that same kind of episodic pivot, which is acquisition kind of episodic pivot. So you can see that um, someone tried to buy this, if I'm not wrong. um, or maybe that was some other hospital. um, chart of Alicon Castelloy. Alicon. What's happening here? Yeah, this is a this is a perfect example of a trade of a stock which you should not have anywhere near your watch list. Okay, so yeah, so this guy is not only below the 1021 moving averages, but the 1021 itself is trending down. 10 is below 20, 20 is below 50. So until and unless this guy sets up and gives me at least a higher high, something like this, and then comes back and tries to gives me a higher low, I will not look at this. So this is a great example. of what not to have on your chart, on your watch list. TKS, I don't know which stock is this. Can you please check Vadilal? Yes, of course. Yeah. So Vadilal is also one of the stronger names, and yeah, today's action was really cruel. Um, so the good time to buy Vadilal would be on this day, right? You can see that Vadilal now see this is again. Please try and understand what I am trying to tell you guys. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you simply buy stock which are languishing at the bottom. I'm saying that of course during a bull market one would trade flags Sundar Sudol है ना, all the VCV like characteristic, but what I'm saying is that those kind of characteristic kind of stock are not going to be present in times like this when we are in a bear market. And at that time you have to, if you are trading as a full-time trader, you have to trade stocks this which are like this. Okay, and this is still a name which is relatively strong. Now if you look at what happened during this period of time, you can look at relative strength above green, M swing green, previous relative strength came back down but still was stronger than the market. And there and यहाँ से again it started. Yeah, this was a DTL based breakout, and then currently it's a highly volatile name, and it makes sense because high ATR, low float, small M cap. The best thing is that you wait for tightness here, and then you act upon it. Currently, I would not, especially given the fact that there are better names. Uh, Yatharth, maybe Yatharth, yes, Ashish. Parth Jindal says Aarti Pharma. Why is Aarti Pharma not in my list? I mean, not that I care about it, but if it's a strong name, then it should have been in my list. Aarti Pharma 0.24. Hold on, 0.43. Yeah, so the best way to trade Aarti Pharma is just to trade when it reaches the bottom of this long ascending channel. Okay, like since the start of its life, it has been coming and kissing this at some point of time. So again, no guarantee that it'll come, but yeah, this is a good setup, I would say. So today, yeah, so this is a good setup, but again, how will you trade? Like your entry points would be important here. Now one entry point is like the Minervini cheat pivot, which would be above this day high and this day high, है ना? See, these are at the same exact points. If I did not put this, it would have seen that oh ये थोड़ा नीचे है, ऐसा नहीं है, because there is a ascending channel थोड़ा दिखने में ऐसा लगता है. But this is one point. Now you have to ask कि is that breakout okay in these conditions, or do I need to be slightly clever and enter when it bounces off the key MAs? That's your choice. I mean, everything is correct. Slight market conditions differing will make one kind of entry better than the other kind of entry, but over a long period of time these things will not matter. This entering here is also your timing, entering here is also your timing. Okay, so yeah, looks good. Parth, CG Aegis, please share your view. Okay, Sapna, I will not take this, I will take the other names, okay, for right now, because Bazaar style current says is also bottom reversal. Yes, but I think Bazaar style probably has a higher low already. Bazaari Bazaar style Bazaar. Yes, you see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. Although this is a bottom reversal, this is now already has two higher lows. In line with what the market is trying to do. Market में ये वाला लो और ये वाला लो perhaps आ चुका है, बट इसने प्रीवियस हाई का ब्रेकआउट भी दे दिया है. सो देखो, ये वाला लो आ गया, ये वाला लो आ गया, है ना. लेकिन बाजार स्टाइल यहाँ पे है. बाजार स्टाइल कहाँ पे है? बाजार स्टाइल, होल्ड ऑन, बाजार स्टाइल ये कर चुका है. तो परहैप्स दिस इज़ व्हाट द जनरल मार्केट इज़ विल फॉलो. and Bazaar Style is already doing that with two good candles. This was a PBC entry, although this was not on my list, or yes, this was not something Stanley was on my list. This was not, but yeah, yeah, this was a valid setup yesterday. Now I would not enter today because this is already the second day of the momentum burst. Given conditions are not that fiercely bullish, I would not. Okay, so I'll stop right here, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Uh, like I said, because of the fact that we are trending above all key moving averages, my bias is that we will bounce. Now that bounce might not come tomorrow exactly, but that bounce might come by going below the key moving averages, which is the technical term is like the undercut, and undercut chick and then go up, so that will also trap some bears, have some shakeout kind of an effect, and that move probably be swift. So that is my bias, okay, and it's very essential to have a bias, and only then you will be able to execute if that bias turns out plays out in the market real time, because a lot of these things are easy on hindsight, but on when things are happening right in front, and when real money is involved, those things becomes tougher. But and that's why it's important to have a view. No matter if you have 100 times view, 100 times आपका view गलत हो रहा है, then you will know that there is the way you are thinking about the market is probably not correct. Then you will start correct yourself. So I'm a firm believer of having views, having a bias, and then course correcting as we go on. So I thank you guys again for joining, and have a good night. And yeah, just just do it. GGMU, we beat tonight, hopefully.